Hello. Now then, I said a couple of weeks ago, I was going to do a video, obviously to follow up with the other video I did. So I'll tell you a little bit about what's been going on and why it means so much to me to do this video. Okay, and like I said, I'm going to be doing a film in September, 45-minute film on depression, mental health illness and everything, things like that. But I think you need to know a little bit about what it's like to live with it. So this is what this is about. And I'm very nervous about doing it, because this is me with no bits of courage, no bottles of courage down my neck. So this is just me, with a nice cup of coffee that my son's just made me. And you'll hear me banter on a little bit, but I'll tell you why it needs to be brought towards the forefront. Excuse me, you'll notice I'm stuttering a little bit because I am nervous, but I am going to share it with you, and I'm going to try not to edit anything, because then it's easier. You know, it makes it look like we've done this and messed with it, but I'm not. It's just got to be true, pure, raw emotion, hasn't it? What you've got to show. So please bear with me on this, okay? It might be a little bit long-winded, but I'll tell you what it's like for me personally to live with this. My son has issues as well, so it's a bit harder that way as well for me. But I'm not saying I struggle more than anybody else, so woe is me. It's not about that. This is about sharing what it can be like. And to share this, I really am putting myself on the line sharing this with you guys. And this is why I'm finding it so hard, because I've got a lot of friends out there, and after hearing this they might think, or not understand basically, what living with mental health is. So I am that's the word I'm looking for, procrastinating and just avoiding talking to you properly at the moment about it. But when I start, I suppose fuck it. Right, I'll tell you what it's like for me. Been struggling with mental health issues for quite a few years. When me and my wife first broke up, I'd been struggling a bit anyway, and that didn't make matters any better. I had a massive breakdown. A friend of mine, Dawn, she saved me from doing quite a few things. I smashed my house up with my samurai sword like a dick, in a bad way, and I struggled to deal with it. And that's what happens. That's, you have a kick-off point. Mine was, and you won't believe it, after I had the talk with Abby about, do we know we're going to separate and all this, that and the other, I sat on a park and I couldn't find a bin for a bottle of Coca-Cola. You believe it or not, an empty bottle of Coke, simple as that. Just a little thing that kicked it off. And so I broke down on the park. I've been doing martial arts for a long time, and I had my sword at home, and totally trashed the place. Smashed my sword on my TV. Don't remember anything about it. All I remember was a knock at the door and Dawn, and she took the sword off me. Apparently I put one of the windows through on like a little glass panel I had going as you went in through my front door. Don't remember doing it. I actually don't remember a lot about it. But she was there and she took the sword off me. So that was the start of things, when things didn't get really much better. Lost my dad to cancer. Struggled quite a bit with things, and I just struggled to deal with it. And I didn't get any help, because at that time, I suppose, like most fellas, we think we're invincible to our families and friends. You know what I mean? You think you're invincible, so then you don't want to admit to it. You don't want to say to them that, oh no, this is all going wrong and I need the help. Sorry about that. I just thought somebody's knocking on my door. So you won't do. You put up with it. But that's the worst thing you can do. Because simple reason being is, then if you've not dealt with it, it gets worse. It just eats at you and it eats at you, and something's got to give. And with me, it did. I found myself, not very proud of it, but I found myself sat on top of a bridge, getting ready to jump off into the canal, and it wasn't an easy thing. And I think the only thing that saved me was, at the time, I didn't have Xander at the time. The only thing that saved me then was the thought of my 2 girls and my friends. And then after that, I went to the doctors to get some prescription drugs and stuff, and life goes on. I never really got over it. But then I thought it just suppressed it. Didn't see anybody, didn't see a psychiatrist or anything like that. Just carted on with life, as you do, and then things happen, I just had a few bad things there at work. Things were happening there. Had a good job, work on the railway. Joanne gave me a brilliant son and a stepdaughter. Thought life was going good. And unfortunately, because I hadn't dealt with the situation, it weren't. It was just festering below the surface. And it'd just been suppressed. That's the word I was looking for. It'd just been suppressed. And with everything else, my son has Xander has, she's trying to wait on it, but we do know what it is, ADHD and Asperger's. And then things with school started happening for him. He got expelled from a school. We've tried to put him to another school. We've been fighting it. I'm still fighting it at the moment to get this sorted for him, and so is his mum. And so that didn't make that any better for me, because I was struggling to work. I'd drop him off at school, and then when I get on the train to go to work, or just there, I'd be on my way into work, I'd get a phone call from school. You have to come back and get him. He's kicked off. He's had a meltdown, and they couldn't really understand what it were. And Mrs. Bird, one of the teachers there, she's a lovely lady, trying to help him, but it didn't. So then we ended up having to put him to another school, which is a special school in Burnley for people with Xander's condition, if you want to call it a condition, or a mental health illness. Now that didn't really help me, because then 2 years ago, just 2 years ago, December the 15th, I was ready to jump. I was ready to jump in front of a train at the time. Sorry about this. I was at work. And I think it'd been the last straw. I think I'd just got another phone call from Xander's school, and I had to go and pick him up. I just had a meltdown on the platform at work, and I was just waiting for the train to come, and that was it. I was ready to go. And it was a weird thing at the time, because I thought there'd be no more, if in front of the train, then there'd be no more thingy for me. It's probably a selfish thing as well, but at that point I was I felt at peace. It sounds a stupid thing. I felt at peace. I felt relaxed. I didn't feel anything at all. Just felt that were it. And then my boss come out. She seen me at the bottom of the platform. I don't really remember a lot about talking to her, but all I do remember then is that Dawn come down. I ended up back in the office, and they sent for my friend. From one of the guys that did all health and safety. Really nice bloke. They suspended me medically because of what was going on. So then I decided, with that, I needed to try and get some help. Not straight away. Now, this is, I know I told you I'd be blagging on, didn't I? Not straight away. I didn't do it straight away. Call it self-pity, call whatever you want. But this is what it's like. This is the bit that's I find hard. Because I can promise you now, when you're struggling, you won't do anything for yourself. Simple things. Never ate properly, didn't eat for days, didn't wash, didn't shower, wore the same clothes, went to bed in the same clothes, got up in the same clothes. I think that's disgusting. I can understand that, of course it is, But when you're in that position where nothing really matters anymore to you, you don't even think about simple things like that. And it does go on. It gets worse. It can, it gets worse. I had suicidal thoughts every day, 2 or 3 times a day, and it was a horrible thing. But then the look for me was that I slept most of my days off. When I was off, I'd been in bed most of the day. Make excuses. I'd let people down constantly. I do sometimes now. I still let people down because I do have bad days. Nothing like I used to have. I'm on medication and stuff, and just constantly let people down. And it's not because you couldn't be arsed, and people may think that, it's not because you can't be arsed. When you have a mental health issue, when you struggle with depression and anxiety, it's a bastard. I'll be straight honest with you, it really is. You've got no control over it. You can change from one moment to the next, and I was constantly like that. Anybody who knew, I'm not too bad at the moment, but anybody who knew me around about that a couple of years ago and just after, about 12 months ago, will tell you the same thing. Even, my friends at the club, constantly said do stuff, didn't turn up for it. And it wasn't because I couldn't be arsed, it's because I couldn't get out of bed. And the reason I couldn't get out of bed, because I was afraid to. And that sounds stupid, doesn't it? 54-year-old man, not being able to get out of bed because of what's up in his head. But that's the truth. And the thing with depression immobilises your whole life. I'll tell you that now. It immobilises your whole life. It separates you from your family, your friends, your loved ones. And it fucking hurts. It hurts, guy. I'm telling you, it really hurts, because as much as you want to do these things, you can't do it. It's just not possible. And unfortunately, some people take it a step further, and then, but that's their way out. You may say it's a coward's way. A lot of people may say it's a coward's way, but it's not. You've got a balls that big, and I'm not condoning it, because I think it's a sad day when somebody actually goes that far and takes their life because they can't deal with the situation anymore. I had a massive breakdown a few months ago. Excuse me, sorry. But a massive breakdown a few months ago. I'd planned to take my life. Selfish innit? Selfish bastard. I know. I've got a son, got a lovely son, got great friends. But when you're in a place where you're at, that doesn't mean jack shit, pal. Honestly, mate. Other people, it doesn't mean shit. I was trying to get his mum to have him for 3. I'll tell you exactly what it was. Trying to get his mum to have him for 3 days, and she couldn't have him. Thank goodness. I wouldn't do anything when Zanley was here. Not a chance. But that's why I wanted him away for 3 days. I didn't want him to find me. What I was planning to do, I was going to take a lot of tablets and just for 3 days, nobody would see me for 3 days, and that'd be it, wasn't it? You know what I mean? Over and done with. And I had that planned. His mum couldn't have him, thank goodness. And then I just had a bit of a breakdown, and I had some really good friends pull around and help me out. Now these are the people that got me the help, and I don't remember a lot about it. All I remember about the Friday when I had the breakdown was having a little fallout with Dr. Pops. I call Xander Dr. Pops. I'm going for a walk. That was really about it. And then apparently I turned up at the club across the road, because I sometime meant to do rock and roll night with them on the door for the guys that do the rock and roll. When my mate Martin, we were meant to be doing that. And I don't really remember a lot more about it, to be honest with you. I remember coming back over to the house, and the mental health team coming out to talk to me, and I had that for a few days, and some tablets taken. Sorry, some tablets I had to take. They changed some tablets around for me. And I'm going to go in a lot more detail of things in my life when I do this 40-minute thing. I'm going to be one of the people that's I'm interviewing people, and I'm going to be telling you a lot more about myself, but I just need to tell you that when you're in the state you're in with anxiety and mental health, it is not a good place to be. And people tell you, never ever tell somebody, oh, to pull out of it. Unless you've been there, people, unless you've really been at the edge of this is it, you know, I don't honestly think you'll understand. We all handle things differently. We all have different ways of doing things. We all, you know, some people can handle pressure better than others. Some can't. Some people have friends and family around them that help them. Some haven't. You know, I was very, very fortunate. I've got a lot of good friends and family. But it doesn't always work for the better that way, unfortunately, does it? You know, when you've got people there, even friends and family, sometimes it doesn't work that way. I feel sorry for the people who've got to get to a point where this is it. But I do understand why they do say this is it, because I'll be honest with you, that day I decided that I was going to take all these tablets and go to sleep. I'd never felt peace or so relieved as I did that day. The day before, because I was making the plans, and thought I just felt at ease, knowing this is what I was going to do. There was going to be no more hurt, no more pain, no more crying, nothing. And the fact that I was leaving people behind here, didn't matter anymore. Now this is why this needs to get out there. I'm a survivor. Anybody knows me, yeah. Well, I'm a survivor at the minute, yeah. Anybody who knows me will tell you, you know, I can be a pain in the arse, we all can. But I'm a fun-loving person. I like to, you know, I've got things planned for the future. But this, what I'm doing with Jodie and that in September, this interview, this is why it's being done. The reality of it, it's not a nice thing to, depression, anxiety and suicidal thoughts and suicide is not a nice subject. It's a taboo subject with people. They don't want to know. Yeah, but if there's help out there, you need to let people know, especially men. Men are the worst people for not opening up. This is because we've been programmed since whenever that, oh, we're the breadwinner, we're the make, you know, you can't say this, you can't cry in front of people. What a crock of shit. It's bullshit. Yeah? It takes a big man to cry, to be able to cry in front of others and say that he's wrong and say that he needs help. And this is why I want men to come forward more than women, and I'm not being sexist like I said in the other video. I'd like men to come forward and just say, you know what, I'll tell you what's been going on with me as well. You know, and that's exactly what I want them to do. I want them to come forward and just share the thoughts with us and share their experience of living with it. And if you want to do it, but you don't want your face or your voice to be recognised because you're still feeling a bit raw about it, or you're feeling that people have a go at you, or a little bit embarrassed about coming forward, that's not a problem. I can always, Jodie can, she knows better than me how to do it, can always pixelate your face and change your voice. Now this is just a little small video. I'm saying a small video, I'm just realised I've been waffling on for about 16 minutes or something. But please, I'd like you to share this. I don't want you to share it, I'll tell you why, because the embarrassment for me. But what's an embarrassment for me with this, you know, if it's going to help save other people? What you want to do is share this as much as you can to your friends on Facebook, any social media, get it out there, and hopefully, yeah, people will get in contact with you, and then I can get in contact with them and get everything in place for this filming that's going to start in September. You who know me, you know, some of the things might have said, you might have been a bit pissed off about it, but I've been straight about it. So it's up to you guys if you want to still talk to me or get in contact with me. It's up to you, isn't it? I'm going to leave you with this. I'm going to leave you with this thought for a minute, yeah. Life is hard. It is really hard, yeah. But there are people out there who are willing to help and bring you back from the brink of thinking what you're going to do. All you need to do is ask them, yeah. And I'm one of the people who, if you want to ask help from me or talk to me, flipping heck, I'd gladly give you help and send you to the right people. Okay. I'm going to end this now. Love you guys lots. Like I said, please, please, please share this for the sake of what it is, and not what for likes or anything like that. It's just the case of people might see this. Do you know what? If he can do it, so can I. If you want to show your videos to me, then I can maybe incorporate them in this film that we're doing in September. Then please do so via somebody you know if you want, or you can send it to me at my email address. So you have to excuse me a minute. Neil.mckinney@hotmail.co.uk. Take care, guys. Be good.